How many of these macOS tips do you know? Let's find out. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, so from time to time I like to do these kind of macOS tips and tricks videos because macOS does a really bad job at documenting a lot of this stuff for people and they have no idea it exists, alright? So that's kind of one of the big issues there. Anyways, these are going to be very quick, very fast tips and tricks. I have 10 of them. How many do you know? Okay, tip number one, it's one of those ones when you need it, you really need it. And let me explain, let me just show you right over here. Take a look. I have Safari open over here. I'm doing some ESPN browsing, all right? But I'm looking up Maui for a vacation. Maybe I'm looking up some car information. I have a whole bunch of tabs open, all right? Now I'm ready to close down ESPN. I go over here, right? And I'm going to click this X here, but accidentally I'm not thinking, and I click this X right here. See it? And I close down the entire window. Everything's gone. All of my research is gone. All those pages, I have no idea where I got them from. I want to go back to those pages right away. There's an easy trick to do it. Let me show you. What you want to do in the keyboard is click Shift, Command, and T. Now watch my screen over here. Just leave it like alone. Shift, Command, and T. Watch what happens. It instantly relaunches Safari here. It launches all of your tabs back open here. Here's Safari. Here's my Maui. Here's the best cars. You can see everything completely comes back. So don't fret when you do that if you hit the wrong button. It's going to be Shift, Command, T. Your entire Safari window will come back with all the tabs. It's golden. Okay, tip number two, if you're coming from Windows, this probably bugs you so much. Watch what I mean. Take a look over here. I'm on a website over here. I'm going to download this graphic. This is actually just some free graphics. And what macOS does that just is really annoying. If you click download, watch what happens. You download it. You want it to go to download, but what it's going to do is it's going to instantly open up that file. I don't want it opened up. I just wanted to download it. I don't want all my files to open up when I download them. It's crazy, right? So anyways, I'm going to close that down. There's an easy way to fix that, all right? All you have to do is go into Safari up here, and I guess this is more of Safari, not so much macOS, but you get the idea. Up here, you go to Safari, and then you go to Settings right here. Take a look. Settings right there. And then right in here, it's going to say General. You want to make sure you're in the General tab over here. You go right in here, and way down at the bottom, it says Open Save Files After Downloading. You just uncheck that. Look at that. Now I'm going to close this down. Now watch what happens. If I go over here again, and I want to download this, watch what happens. It downloads. It doesn't open it up. This is great for like music files and stuff where you don't want them just, the music app always launching. I hate that, don't you? Anyways, that's how you fix it. Okay, this next tip I use all the time, pretty much every day. Let's say I want to craft an email, I want to do a Pages document or something like that. There's a very easy way to start dictation on your keyboard without even thinking about it. Take a look at this. Okay, let's say I'm in a Pages document here, and instead of, I'm just kind of sick of typing, I just want to kind of talk about my thoughts. Now you can be in Notes, you can be in Pages, you can be anywhere, you can be even on the web, you can in your web address. You can use this anywhere on macOS. So take a look. I'm kind of exhausted here. I don't want to type anymore. I just want to talk and have it type for me. All I got to do is just minimize this right here on Pages. What you have to do is you want to go into your settings here, go down to keyboard, see it down here, click on keyboard in the settings, and then go over here. What we're going to see is right here, it says press the globe key 2, and then you're probably going to see show emojis and symbols here like this. You're going to probably see this one here. What you want to do is you want to change this right here to start dictation. Press that little button there twice, all right? Now that button's actually on the far left of your keyboard. I'll show that to you here in a second, but you want to go ahead and select that right there, so it's going to start dictation. Now watch what happens. If I go back over here to Pages, and let's just say I'm right here, I go down to the globe key down here, you can see it right there. I double press it. Now watch my screen. I'm going to double press it. Hello, this is Craig. This is my thought for today, period. How are you doing? Anyways, it's going to type exactly what I'm thinking here. It's not always going to be perfect. You got to give it the punctuation and stuff, but take a look at that. It keeps going. When you want to turn it off, double tap the globe key again. It'll click and it'll be gone. Now it doesn't do it any longer. Now it's gone. So anyways, anytime you're in any document, when you set that up, you press that double globe key twice, and then you can talk and don't have to type. Okay, these next two I use all the time, and people don't even know they exist. They have no idea what these even are. You may have seen these before, maybe not. Take a look over here. So let's say you have some files in here, right? And you can always click on any file you have. This is a PDF file. This is a Pages file. You can always right-click on it over here. And then what you want to do is you want to say Get Info. See right there? So click on the file, click Get Info. It's going to bring up a screen like this. I'll bring this over here, right over here. Inside of here, you're going to see Stationary Pad and Locked, all right? First of all, what I like to do is you can lock individual files. You can select a whole bunch of files. right click on it, and then go in here and click lock. See this right here? Now what this is great for is, let's say this file over here is something you never want to delete. Now it doesn't protect it fully, but it makes you think twice before deleting it, all right? So I just locked that file. What does it mean? Well, let's go back over here. Now that it's locked, if I go over here and I try to delete this, and I go down to, let's just see, if I can find delete here, I can't even find it. Move to trash. Now watch what happens here. Let's go ahead and click on it. It's going to say item letter pages is locked. Do you want to move it to the trash anyway? So you have to click continue here, or you can click stop. So it gives you an extra reminder. Now you can actually click continue. It's going to go into the trash, or you can click stop. So anytime you want to delete a file like that that's locked, it's not going to fully lock it, or it's not going to put like any type of encryption on it. It's just going to say, hey, do you sure you want to do that? It's going to give you a second notice there. Perfect. So I do that with like pictures or documents I never want to delete, and it gives me that second thought. I never delete them. I'm going to uncheck that. The next one over here is called stationary pad. See it right there? And again, I'm just going to choose a different file here. So for this next file, same thing with any file. You just right click on it, click get info, go over here. We're going to move this over here. This time I'm going to click stationary pad, not locked. Now watch what happens with this. When I do stationary pad, all right, and I want to open up a file. This is a PDF file. I'm going to open it up. Watch my screen. What does it do instantly? Watch, I'm going to double click it to open it up. Now you can't see that, but it went so quickly. Let me go ahead and shut that down now. But it creates a copy of it instantly. So as soon as you open up the file, it creates a copy of what was there before. See how now there's two files? So this is the original right here. This is the file you just opened. So if you make any changes to it, there'll always be a copy there. It always makes that copy just automatically for you. Really, really cool, right? So that's going to be stationary pad there. I'm going to uncheck that. So it can either create that file, or it can keep, kind of keep it locked even though it's not officially locked. Those are two things you should use all the time, especially locked. Lock is probably the best thing for any file you don't want to remove. Lock it. Okay, this next one is perfect if you just went on vacation. You took a ton of photos, but the problem is all those photos come back and they had weird names on them, all right? So you want to do this right away. You want to remember to do this right away after a vacation or maybe a family event. I'm going to show you what I mean. Take a look over here. So here are your photos. Let's imagine you had 30 or 40 or 50 or 500 different photos in here, all right? Usually if you take it from your Sony camera, it's going to say like Sony 1, Sony 2, Sony 3. It's going to have no information you can identify on the photos. Really quickly, always want to remember to do this right away. It doesn't matter if it's 3 or 100. Just go ahead and hold down the Shift key and select all of these here. So you can select all 300. Go in here and then you right click on this after you've selected them. And what you want to do is you want to click rename here. Now watch this. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now what's going to happen initially, it's going to say name and index. You don't want to do anything with that. You want to change this name format over here. So you want to go ahead and do name encounter. See right there? So I'm going to go ahead and click that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go like this. I'm just going to say Italy trip, and we're going to say 2026, like that. And then we're going to go ahead and rename it. It's going to watch what happens to the photos. I'm going to click rename right here. It's going to go ahead and rename all of them. So look at this, Italy trip, and it's going to give me the, it's going to give me the date, but then 0001, and then 2, and then 3. So it's going to give me a naming scheme. It's going to rename all of them and then number them as well. So you can go ahead and do this for all of your stuff if you have big suites of photos, and then you can organize them later. A lot of people forget to do this, and then later they go in and they have a million different camera, all the things make no sense to them. They don't know how to, organize them later. This is the perfect way to do it right away. You can do it for anything, even projects. Go ahead and try it. Okay, this next one I use every single day. It's so simple, but I use it every day. Let me just show you what I mean here. It's a simple change. Take a look over here. In my settings in here, what you want to do is you want to go down to desktop and dock right here. See it right here? Click on that. You're going to bring open this screen right here. Now the thing you want to look for is right in here. It's going to be right here. Window title bar, double click action, all right? Yours is going to probably be something different. It's going to be like basically zoom, I believe, or fill, or no action. Change this to minimize right here, right? Just change it to minimize, and then watch what happens. So if we go ahead and pull up in Safari, before if you want to minimize this window, before you had to kind of search up here, sometimes you click the wrong thing, sometimes you shut it down, like I told you before, accidentally, but you have to click the little, kind of the little yellow bubble there with the minus symbol. All you have to do now that we actually have that selected is just double click the menu bar up here, and watch what happens. Double click it, it minimizes it. Double click this, minimizes it. So all you have to do now is just double click the menu bar twice, and there you go. It's going to basically minimize the window down. It's just an added feature that helps me every single day. Instead of searching for that little teeny little icon up there, always works. Okay, this next thing, something built into macOS that I think nobody knows about at all. Anyways, let me just show you what I mean here. You can use this anywhere. On the web, you can use it on Pages, you can use it in Notes. It doesn't even matter. Watch this. So over here, I'm in Pages. Now, I don't have to click on anything. I just had to put my cursor over a word. Just leave it there. See, I'm on Sincerely. I'm going to leave the cursor there, right? What I want to do is I want to hit Control-Command-D. Control-Command-D. Watch what happens. I'm going to click that. It's going to instantly I didn't even click on that. It's going to instantly open the window. It's going to give you the dictionary definition of that word, and then it's going to give you other options here. Genuinely, honestly, really. So if you want to go ahead and change that word, let's say you're writing a document truthfully, and you want to find other words that you want to put in there instead of what you had there, it's right there, or it's a dictionary definition, all right? So that's actually great there. Okay, next I'm back on the web here. This is going to be, obviously, I'm looking up Maui again. Remember this? I'm in Safari here. So I'm just on the web. I'm going to go ahead and find a word here, just significant. I'm going to put my cursor over that. Remember, Control, Command, D like that. It's going to go ahead and open it up. It's going to give you the definition of the word and then also alternatives to it as well, really quickly, and then you can go ahead and use those. Now, the one thing you got to note is if it's over a link, it's not going to do that. It's going to do something a little bit different. If you click over a link, any type of link online, it's going to actually like open up the website there in a little window. Look at that. It's going to open up so you can preview that. That's kind of cool. So you can preview that link before even opening up the web page. That's another tip there. So just remember, if it's a word, it's going to give you the actual definition or other alternatives. If it's a link here and you do, Control Command D, it's going to open up, look at that, the website that you actually, instead of clicking on it, it's just going to open up a preview of it. See that? Anyways, you get the idea. That's all there is to that, a quick tip. Okay, this next one's not so much of a macOS tip, but it is actually a YouTube tip. And since you're watching YouTube, you always do. This is kind of a cool one, all right? Let's say you're watching a Bigfoot video and you want to get a close glimpse of the Bigfoot capture that they captured on video. Obviously, it goes way too fast for you to see it. Here's a little tip here. Take a look over at my screen over here. This is a website called Slapped Ham. He's got this little Bigfoot. You can see it right there, but it moves too fast for me. So all I have to do is when I'm actually on here, all I got to do is on my keyboard, click the period on your keyboard. Watch what happens. If I click the period, it's going to advance the screen by 1 frame at a time. Look at that. So 1 frame at a time, it's just going to move really, really slowly, and I can watch the Bigfoot move there. If I want to go backwards, click the actual comma, all right? Click the comma, he's going to move 1 screen backwards. You can imagine this is super useful. Let's say you're watching like a high-speed ballistics test or something. You can just stop it, click the plus button to go 1 frame forward, click the the comma to go backwards. Really easy, love it. Okay, so if you're like me and you download a ton of PDF files and they're all over your Mac and stuff and you have no idea where they are, what I like to do is after I'm not going to really use them that much, I like to combine all of them into one, especially when they're in like the same topic, all right? Let me just show you what I mean over here. So over here, here's some PDFs here. I'm just going to use 2, but you can imagine like maybe 50 of them in here. And I don't actually use these too much anymore, but there's information here I want to keep, but I just want to kind of consolidate them into one file. All I have to do is just select both of them. Again, hold the Shift key down like that. Just select, well, let me just show you first of all. Before I do that, let me just show you. Here's one of them here. It's obviously this one, and then there's going to be the second one over here. These are going to just be Mac rumors, so I'm going to save those for just some information for later. Now what I want to do is I want to select both of them, hold the Shift key down. Then you want to go like this, right-click. You can definitely have right-click enabled. Right-click on both of those files. What you want to do is you want to kind of go down here and say, let me actually go all the way down to Quick Actions. I'm sorry, right here, Quick Actions. Then you want to do Create PDF. Watch what happens up on my screen. I'm going to click that. So it's going to go ahead and it's going to create one of them that combines both of them, all right? So you can see this one up here was just created. These are the other 2. Now I can go ahead and I can actually take these. I can actually move these to the trash. And then this one I can open up. Now this is going to have both of them in here. Now watch what happens. I'm going to scroll all the way down, and then here's the second one below it. So it's just going to combine those all, right, into one. If you could imagine if I had like 50 in here, and I wanted all the information saved, but I don't want 50 files, I just do that really quickly, and it combines all 50 into one PDF, and you're golden. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. That was 10 of them. I like to keep this short so you can remember them. Some people do like 50 or 60 and you never remember them at all. Anyways, tell me what you guys think. How many did you know? How many did you not know? I've covered these, I think, a few times way in the past. I just wanted to showcase them again because I use them every single day or every single week, some of them. Anyways, post in the comments. We will see you guys in the next one. I do videos every single 2 or 3 a week. I do the news, the Apple news on the weekends. Stay tuned for that. Every week we have some fun with the news. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.